The commitment level and the orientation level will be different when it comes to BJP. So a person who is leading the BJP and the important persons who are supporting him, they are highly oriented about the national concerns and self-reliance. This is a very important thing. So any negotiation at the international level or any discussions at any regional level, these discussions will have bearing in this manner. A BJP leader will have more proactive approach towards national empowerment. So it should not be taken as some kind of expression of doubt about other political parties. I do not say, because this is orientation is different and this has been there. So BJP in coming days, in the last 2 years also we have the priorities, whatever we have given, transparency and accountability. This government has taken up very seriously, and Narendra Modi ji and has personally made it into an issue. Even now, how this government will be functioning. Sometimes what happens when you come to government after a rigorous debate and discussions, after coming to power, many parties, they make the electoral issues and non-election issues. But this government is not going to get spared from that. So how much transparent it is, and how much accountability is, and how much corruption free it is, this is going to be the very important criteria of the judgment, and the leadership is ready to face it. This is one. Second important thing in this government in the last 2 years is taking up the public investment in a big way in the infrastructure. Because the one issue is, there was lack of hope and trust because of the non-transparency that is created. And the second is taking up the public investment in a very big way in order to restore the vibrancy. So comprehensive infrastructure, rural, urban, port, or rail infrastructure, or in any manner. So this comprehensive infrastructure, this is the second important thing which I would like to make. Third, this Make in India, which you know. So there are certain issues which this government is taking up, and BJP is not for isolation, but it is not ready to neglect its core areas. India's core areas must have to get a kind of space at the international level whenever we enter into any negotiations. This is the approach of the country and the government, and all other positive things, reforms, and whether it is GST and all other things. This government is confident, and the leadership is very confident, and it wants to take up all these issues. So far in the last 2 years, opposition party, particularly Congress, has reasons best known for its leadership. It has not allowed for the BJP to do. But in my view, things have reached a stage where all these things have become manageable, or this government is confident of managing GST and other reforms agenda. So in coming days, all other political parties are maybe going ahead to have the shared common ground with the government, in my view. So this is a brief presentation I had made before you, and any questions or anything.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Rao. My name is Bharat Shah. One point emanating from what you said and one outside I wanted to kind of get your views on. You mentioned about the strong protection of the interest of the nation, which any citizen of the country can't disagree with. You also made a point about self-reliance, which I was a bit unsure about, because in today's world, pure self-reliance in a traditional sense is something which has outlived utility, because we all depend on others for many things. There are things that we do well and there are things that others do well. So a kind of a isolated cocooning of ourselves in a self-reliant mode is actually against our long-term interests. So that was one point. And second, on a specific point about GST, which we think is a very, very vital thing which needs to be done to remove all the cobwebs and all the kind of poor practices which have been allowed to creep in into our economic system due to lack of an integrated taxation system. But there is going to be a significant likely cost in a short term to be paid, and which is a core constituency in a political way for BJP. There is a large class of traders and the small businessmen who really do not have major strength other than kind of benefiting from the leakages of the system. And to that extent, a lot of these people would be kind of would have their existence threatened once GST comes into the play. Like small shops and a lot of traders who evade taxes, and really their core capability is managing such things rather than really building, contributing to economic value. And to that extent, there is a political cost to be paid. Whether, I'm sure you are cognizant of that, given your all very strong computations that would have gone behind it. But there is a important political cost, at least in the short term, to be paid. So I wanted to know your view as to how prepared politically one is for that.
You know, it's a very important question you have asked about the definition of self-interest and self-reliance in BJP's view. You know, Indian society even today is not living in isolated way. We have interests both inside even today, and we also have interest outside. Indian government, particularly BJP, has taken this issue in a very modern way and flexible way. It doesn't mean that self-reliance doesn't mean that we should not allow investment coming from outside, or we should not allow others importing here. These are not the things. And even in the past few years, if it is not understood in this way, then it is not the mistake of BJP. BJP has always been taking this way. You know, for example, if you take, in India, you have the farming community. And here the subsidies you discuss about Indian farming community compared to the global farming community is very less. So when we were fighting in WTO against America or against Europe, it was a fight not to protect the inefficient farmer here. By all means, if I have to say today, who is the inefficient farmer, then even by all means, even today I have to say the American farmer is inefficient. European farmer is inefficient. The kind of subsidies they have, you can never match that kind of subsidies. So globalization might have been used, but it was never handled in a in a judicious way. Justice was not done. Asking Indian farmers to face that kind of subsidized agriculture in America and Europe, and in the name of globalization, we never accepted. That was the issue. In the same way, in every area. For example, if you see movement of personnel, Indian people going and participating in the global markets for the personal services, if the fair system is allowed, the ground and the facilities for the laws for the capital movement advocated, and the ground and facilities advocated for the human movement. When there was a discrimination, we have surplus human resource compared to capital resource. So why don't this globalization system has got the equal kind of treatment for both? So these are the things which we discussed. Self-reliance does not mean that nobody should come and no investment should come and we should not go. It has never been the approach of BJP. And even after Modi ji has come, many people who have defined self-reliance in a different way, they have questioned this. For example, investment coming in the defense sector here. That we have argued. For example, sleeping bags also we are importing. Shoe also we are importing. And Chinese firms are manufacturing all these things and they are sending their goods via third countries to this country. So defense needs are imported from other countries. So instead of that, if even foreign investment comes in here and if we are able to reduce our imports, then our defense reliance, self-reliance will increase. So we have defined in a very flexible way. But certain reservations we express about the Euro-American world and all other things, it should be taken in a very contextual basis. It should not be applied everywhere. BJP as a party is progressive and it is for the interactive world, interdependent world, and equal treatment is very important. Front loading their advantages and back loading our advantages cannot be the part of any negotiation or any agenda. So when we oppose this kind of mismatch or disproportionate advantages thing, then it should not be seen as a kind of anti-progressive thing. So there should not be any issue. As far as GST is concerned, definitely BJP is seen as the small traders party. And most of them, they support BJP. So they may not be the enthusiastic sections to support this. So BJP's support for GST is not only doubtful, not because of Congress, even otherwise they may be not interested, is the perception. It is wrong. Leadership has taken a view long back, and the confidence of the party and its leadership and the leaders who are in the governance, they feel that in coming days these things will be rolled out, and whatever the problems, whether the state governments or the certain sections, all those problems will be addressed and will be handled in a sensitive way. Because when we are taking all of them on board, we will be able to address all those issues is the feeling of the leadership.
Hello, sir. My name is Sudipto Deb. You spoke a lot about agriculture, and also on the other side you spoke about employment. But generally it is seen that for rapid employment growth, urbanization is a key driver. And whether we urbanization. So basically, and all projections are that, whether we agree with the way our census classifies urban or no is a different issue, but India is a rapidly urbanizing country, and certainly in the next 10 years it will be probably majority urban. Do you think enough attention is actually being paid to our cities and the way they are developing? For example, Karnataka state, which you are in charge of, the greater